Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and we're going to talk about GoodReads. In honor of me trying to get back into updating my GoodReads, because let's be honest, I haven't been updating it. But I have been trying to get back into updating my GoodReads, so slowly but surely I'm adding all of the books that I have read and any of the reviews that I have made for them onto my GoodReads. I've been trying to put them on there, but you know. So in honor of me attempting to be a good GoodReads user, that was a mouthful, let's go ahead and look at some reviews. More specifically, I want to look at the reviews of my favorite books that I've read so far, and even more specifically, the 1-star reviews. As we all know, reading is very, very subjective, so everyone has their opinions. My favorite book might not be your favorite book, and vice versa. So, also the lighting in this video might be so bizarre because the weather right now is crazy. It's windy, it's cloudy, and I feel like we just don't know what kind of weather we want to have right now, because a couple minutes ago it was hot and now it's kind of cold. So but anyways, as I always do, I want to give you guys just a little update on what I've been up to recently. Well, I've been sick the last couple of days. We love that. Sore throat and all. Hated it. I still have an inner ear infection. Love that for me. But I'm feeling a little bit better. I can now talk more for like a prolonged period of time, so that's nice. Also, my entire life has strictly just been consumed of trying to find something to read. I still haven't finished Onyx Storm. I know in my last YouTube video I said that I was gonna finish it. Never did. You know what it is I'm afraid that one of my favorite characters is gonna die, and I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So for my mental health, I'm gonna put a hold on reading that. But I do know that I have to finish it. So, but that is on my February hopefuls, which, by the way, I'm not even keeping track of, because last night I was prepared to pick up a book and read it. We all know I'm not gonna pick up Onyx Storm yet. Not ready for it. So I went through my list of my February hopefuls and I said, wow, I don't want to read any of these. So I started reading My Dark Romeo instead, which was a good choice because I'm loving it. I'm only about 25% through since last night, and I kind of want to keep reading it. So here we are. Not anywhere near any of the books that I've chosen for my February hopefuls, but it is what it is. I have also been very busy writing my book. I'm 20 chapters in now, and I had a huge setback because I had wrote a chapter, and it was, in my opinion, a really good chapter, one of my best writings that I've ever seen so far. And I was like, wow, this is really great. Let me see if it flows with the next chapters, you know, or with the chapters beforehand. It didn't flow, and I didn't want to sacrifice that lovely written chapter that I just wrote, so I had to do a little bit of rewrites leading up to the first chapter. And that took me about 4 days to get through. And when I say 4 days, I mean I spent every available moment that I possibly had editing that book. So I went through chapter 1 all the way to the latest chapter of chapter 20 and added more detail, removed certain dialogue, removed certain detail, changed certain points of views, blah blah blah. I did take a 2-day break from my book afterwards just because I needed to clear that up a bit, and I started reading My Dark Romeo, and so now I feel like my mind is clearing up a bit. I noticed that like when I'm reading fantasy books, I can't write my own book because when I sit down and write it, the only thing I can think of is that fantasy book that I was currently reading, which is probably another reason why I don't want to read Onyx Storm, because I don't want to accidentally like channel Onyx Storm while I'm writing my book, because then it'll just be a completely different book at that point. So I think I might have to redo my February hopefuls. This is a thought that just came to me just now in this very moment. So here we are. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the GoodReads reviews. The first book that I want to talk about is Divine Rivals. I love Divine Rivals. That was my very first YA book that I've ever picked up, and I read it in one sitting. And to this day, I still pick that book up and I still read it in one sitting as if it's, you know, I don't know, it's such an amazing book and I love it so much. If you don't know about Divine Rivals was written by Rebecca Ross, and it is a historical fiction YA, young adult, if you don't know. It has romance, it has fantasy, it's about two people, and they live in this world where there's a war going on between two different gods. And the two main characters, Iris and Roman, work as journalists, but they kind of butt heads. So Iris decides it's a good idea for her to go to the front lines to write articles about what's going on with the war, and Roman just decides to follow her. And it's a beautiful story. I love the concept of it, and it's so romantic to me, and I've never really read a YA, more specifically, actually, I've never really read a historical fiction that is that beautiful to me. I rated it a 5 stars because I loved it very much, but some people rated it a 1 star, and let's see what they have to say. She writes like I did when I was heartbroken at 13 over my Minecraft boyfriend. I don't know what that is an opinion, and I will accept it. Actually, before I continue and before I keep going, I just want to say that all of these reviews, everyone has their opinion. If you're familiar with book talk right now, quite a bit of controversy has been brought up the last couple of weeks about people's opinions on books, and if you've seen any of my videos, then you know that I believe that everyone has an opinion on books. Okay, everyone has an opinion. Reading is very, very, very subjective. Okay, and I will always say that. It will always be that way. The only thing that really matters is how you approach your opinion. Hey, I don't really like this book for this reason. It's just not for me. I couldn't get into it. I didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. And that's the appropriate way to have a negative review on a book. And that's okay. Don't bash the people that read it, you know, and don't bash the people that like it. Don't bash the author. Yeah, you guys know. Anyways, moving on. I lost brain cells reading this book. And then there's a sad face on there. There's a sad face at the end. Damn. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like if two teens met on Christian Mingle and then whined constantly. The Christian Mingle is crazy. Are the enemies to lovers in the room with us? Stop, because Roman and Iris, they did not like each other at all. If anything, like Iris hated Roman, and it was made known in like the first couple of chapters, and he would pick on her and make fun of her for being late to work and whatever, and her writing skills, and then Iris would be like, he's a pompous asshole. It's just, okay. No, I get it. Robotic dialogue, underdeveloped characters, and the corniest, most 2014 Tumblr prose ever. Listen, does that say a lot about me? Because I was very heavy on Tumblr around that time. I think that says a lot about me. Maybe I do like the corny shit. So the next one that I want to talk about is Manacled. And if you follow me on any social media platform, you know that I love Manacled. Okay, Manacled is my Roman Empire. I constantly think about it. I'm constantly thinking about the High Reeves, and I'm super, super excited for Alchemized to come out. Like, it lives in my head rent free. If you don't know, Manacled is a fan fiction, and it's about Draco and Hermione, and it's pretty much a dark twist on the Harry Potter world. What happens if, you know, Harry Potter loses? What's the outcome of all of that? What happens to Voldemort? What happens to Draco? What happens to all of the characters that we know and love in the Harry Potter books? And it circles around Hermione, who ends up getting sent to Draco, who's known as the High Reeves, which is pretty much Voldemort's right-hand guy. He's the guy that does all the dirty work for Voldemort. And it's just this story between the two and what happened during the war and what their mistake was during the war and how it all came about, okay? A fanfiction isn't for everyone, okay? I know that. I'm a Wattpad girly at heart, okay? And I dropped like fanfiction so long ago, and then coming back to book talk and coming and, you know, getting all of these different book recommendations, I kind of traveled deep into what is known as Draco Talk, which, by the way, I still love, okay? And being on Draco Talk and being on Book Talk gives you the combination of everything we know and love for Hermione. There's a bunch of Hermione fanfics. A bunch. They're everywhere. So Manacled is one of them. Manacled might be the most popular one in my opinion, just because that's what I just constantly would hear about before I started reading it. So let's look at the reviews. This is gonna be fun. Cannot stand Hermione bitches who like this fic. It's so bad. Hermione bitches? I feel really called out. And this has 66 likes. And I know that's not a lot, but that's 66 people plus the person that wrote the review. It's fine. It's not for everyone, okay? It's not for everyone. I'd rather drink vinegar for breakfast than finish this book. Slow and boring beyond words. Drink vinegar for breakfast? Honey. Honey. 1 star for Topsy. I love Topsy. Okay. I'll accept this 1-star review because the 1 star goes to Topsy, and that is understandable because Topsy, listen, it was good. That's a good one. It is so bad I want to give it a 0, but that's not possible, so I give it a 1. Yeah, that's... I get ya. I have no words other than wow. I hope I never have the misfortune of reading this again. Reading these reviews is like, I want to hurt myself. I'm doing this to hurt me. Everyone's opinions are valid. I'm gonna keep saying it in the hopes that I stop hurting my own feelings. The next one we have is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and this one is another one of my, like, I didn't know I'd like it, but I ended up loving everything about it. Pretty much the story circles around a girl named Elspeth who lives in this world where magic is pretty much frowned upon. There's a sickness that goes around, and if you survive the sickness and gain these magical powers, then you're killed off by the king. And Elspeth really just doesn't understand that whole concept as a whole, and so she teams up with some people from, you know, from the king's court, and they try to find a cure. They try to find reasoning behind it. They try to just figure out what the heck is going on and why all this is happening. Meanwhile, she's got a lovely little friend in her head called the Nightmare, and it's the banter between the two and the way that they just speak to each other is just amazing, and I love it very much. And I think this duology has a lovely beginning, middle, and end. So I don't know, I love it very much. It's a 5-star review for me. So let's see all the 1 stars that people have on this duology. A phone book would be more intriguing. A phone book? Girl. Yo, that's crazy. There's just no way on earth I can care about a dude called Raven. It's asking too much of me. Yeah, you know, I get that. Raven is a name. For sure. But I can get past that, you know? I can get past the name. But I understand some people not being able to get past the name. Because I have read books where I read the character's name or the main male character's name or whoever, and I was like, ooh, that's an ick, and then didn't want to read it again. Okay, so this one's for Two Twisted Crowns. I wish I had my own nightmare to take over my mind so I could forget this painfully boring book. Yo. Not you wishing to have a crazy person in your head. After finishing the entire duology, I grew to love the nightmares, and reading this comment, I'm like, you know what? I kind of wouldn't mind that. Am I okay? Yeah. Remember the protagonist from book 1? Well, she's gone. So say hello to men doing stuff. No thanks. I understand that, because when I read the second book, the POV switch kind of threw me off a little bit, but I think reading it and how much I loved the first book, I didn't mind it. I love reading books where it goes into the male POV and he's just yearning for the female main character. Like, he just will do anything for her, and I just eat it up. And I don't know, maybe that's because now that I think about it, that entire second book is really just that, and I might have a problem, but I loved it. I loved it so much. I don't know. Done with this shit. Listen, I don't know if Homegirl was just so over this book or if she was just over a lot. She was mad. I get it though. Sometimes, like, I've read a book that it was so hyped up. Everyone on Book Talk loved it, and it was hyped up everywhere. I read it and I finished it and I said, you know what? I'm fucking glad I'm done. I'm one of those people that if I don't like the book, I'm gonna finish it because I just need to finish it, because I've read books where the first half is like not the best, and I end up finishing it and it just makes me love the book. Like, I've had books where it starts off being like a 1-star read and it turned into a 5-star, 6-star read. So I'll read books that started off at 1-star reads and end off at 1-star reads, and then I'm like, well, finally I'm done. So you know what, girl? I feel you, okay? I feel you. Okay, so the next one is Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I recently just finished reading not too long ago, and I did get the second book in the series, which is on my February hopefuls, which who knows if I'm gonna actually read it in February, but that's besides the point. So the story circles around a woman whose name is Evangeline Fox, and she is one of those people that believes in love and happy ending and you know, hopeless romantic type, until she finds out that the man that she loves is marrying someone else, and in order to stop the marriage, she pretty much makes a deal with one of the gods, and the Prince of Hearts, who she makes the deal with, his name is Jax, and in return for aiding her, he tells her that she must provide 3 kisses. And so the story kind of follows her and, you know, going about the deed that she made with Jax, and it's a fantasy, and I love the world building, the magical system, and I love Jax. And then Apollo is a character that I don't know how I feel about yet. So when I read the second book, I kind of want to see where that goes. But this is strictly just the first book. So let me go ahead and just, yeah, we're gonna dive into the reviews here. I don't think Jax brushes his teeth. Stop, because what? Why? Does Jax give off dirty vibes? Like actually, like literally dirty? Because if that's the case, am I okay? Because I like Jax. Okay. I wish I was illiterate. Girl. No. Naming a character Cutlass Nightlinger is an unpardonable offense, and I will not elaborate further. Yeah, I will admit that Cutlass is not the best name. I will admit, you know, that isn't the best name. This person just wrote LOL, and if that's not me writing a review on a book, I don't know what is. LOL can go either way, and I'm gonna take this as a... I mean, it's attached to a 1 star, but I'm gonna take it any other way, other than the 1 star. So the next one is about Belladonna, and if you haven't read Belladonna, Belladonna is a gothic fantasy romance type of story. It follows the main character, Signa, who, by the way, I accidentally called her Sigma a couple times. I don't like the word, stop saying it. That's it. We should just, as a society, move past that word. Signa, pretty much from birth, has seemingly been, in my head, she's been cursed, okay? She's had multiple different guardians who... And she ends up going to Hawthorne's, who is this rich, vibrant family, and they have a couple of secrets. But one of the main things about Signa is that she seems to be followed by death, and death seems to be following her all through life, okay? And so she's trying to uncover a bunch of secrets that are happening at the Hawthorne Manor. And it's a story that I didn't expect the story to be the way that it was when I read it. I was expecting something more along the lines of like Once Upon a Broken Heart type vibe, but reading it, I ended up loving it. Plot was amazing to me. In my head, the plot was amazing. To these people, it wasn't, which is fine. And I don't know, I enjoyed it very much. This is the type of book that I didn't like. If you were to tell me the plot of this book and what it actually was about, I probably would not pick it up, but I kind of went into it blindly. But reading it, I realized that I loved it very much and I enjoyed it. So let's see the people that did not. I'm physically unwell. I've never read a book that made me physically unwell, girl. I think everyone who liked this book has a daddy issue. I feel called out. I feel called out. Okay, so another one is How Does It Feel by Janine O'Reilly. This one is a, as of now, trilogy. The third book, Where Did You Go, just recently came out. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. It is on my February hopefuls. And this is a book that I do want to read, but I'm waiting for the right time where I'm in the mood to read a fantasy book, and I'm not in that mood yet. Okay, I'm not in that mood yet. But I did enjoy this book very much. I enjoyed the second one too. How Does It Feel? What Did You Do? And Where Did You Go? Amazing books. Well, I don't know about the third one yet, but the first two, amazing books. Loved it. Loved the plot twist. It follows a girl named Callie who is, you know, starts off in the real world, our world, and she's trying to study these mushrooms, and she wants to see this lunar moth, and she ends up being transported into the Unseelie, which is where fays are, particularly bad fays, and she meets Prince Mandax, who we love Prince Mandax. And yeah, it just kind of follows her story of being in that world, and then, you know, pretty much that's when the plot kind of transpires. So let's read the 1-star reviews here. I have no words, and that's probably for the best. Yeah, yes, that's fair. I know some people follow that line of, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But she said a lot with that review. What in the Reese's peanut butter fuck was this? That? Yeah, okay. I find reviews very funny because it kind of shows the type of humor that these people have. And even though this is like a 5-star read for me and this is a 1-star read for you, can we be friends? Because I feel like we'd shoot the shit and it would be funny. I feel like we'd be funny people. Like, can you imagine a friend group of just funny people? Because you know how there's always friend groups and everyone's a little different, and there's that one person that's always funny and cracking jokes. Can you imagine a friend group with just that type of person? Because I want that friend group. Are y'all okay? No. No, we're not. And that's fine. If this is not me to the core, I don't know what is. Yes, I will be reading the next one. No, I will not be explaining myself. Honey, you and I are the same person. There are sometimes books where the first one and even the second one I didn't like, and I ended up reading the rest of the series because I'm like, well, maybe, you know. As an example, Throne of Glass is that series for me right now. I've read the first 3 books. Can't say I liked them. I don't hate them though, okay? But I'm giving the series a chance because I heard the last couple of books is when it's like. So I'm gonna continue to read the series because I have hopes, but yeah, girl, me too. Okay, so those are the 1-star reviews for some of the 5-star books that I've read. And yeah, if there's one thing I learned from doing this, it is that reading is subjective. We all knew this already. This is kind of why I started a book talk and why I wanted to kind of meet new people that read different books than I do. One, because it gives me a chance to go off into different genres, because mainly I would only read fantasy or romantasy. Like dark romance is a great example because I never really wanted to ever pick up a dark romance book, and now I'm eating those up. Okay, so I don't know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start a book talk, but also because I just love the conversation. I love just talking about it, whether you like the book and I didn't, or vice versa. I still like the fact that we're talking about this book, and I don't know, it's just a great bonding. I don't know, I'm rambling now at this point, but thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I love you all very much. Yeah, that's all I got. So, okay, love you guys. Bye.